let's bring on the one, the only, Mike Vivalo. Vivs, how's it going?
Yo, fellas, awesome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the invite. Love talking to you guys. Love you representing the double deuces up there, Leach and Jeter. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Love that.
Hey, those are the greatest players to wear that number in New York history. I actually have I've got a Mark Messier jersey there, but you can't really see it in the background and some other ones. But
well,
yeah, as you can tell,
I know it's not a Rangers show right now, but that maybe in a couple months we'll be having the same conversation about how awesome the Rangers are.
Oh, dude, I already have high hope for them. Trust me. But in any event, let me get to a few comments. Tudo says, Hank, also Clay Matthews Jr. of USC, learning edge rush and power blitz techniques from them, but I'm a fourth generation pro rugby player. Again.
Yeah.
And Deception goes, is Walker
that was a picture of me, by the way, that icon, that was me.
Oh, that was you.
That guy's avatar. No, I'm kidding, but he was all like Diesel.
But Deception, who again, I love that username. Is Walker a legit pass rusher, or is he more suited for run defense and edge setting? That was an unplanned question, but Mike, I'll let you take this one first.
Who are we talking about?
Walker on the Jaguars.
I don't really know much about the Jaguars D. They're up and down. They've played close games, right? For the first 2 weeks of the season, I was like, oh shit. I thought this was a W, like leading up, and then I saw what they were doing. I was like, oh, them and the Lions both. I was like, crap, we got to deal with these teams that I thought were going to be easier games. So now we have to go down there and see what they're about. I think they've come back down to earth defensively and offensively as well. But as long as we have, listen, we have possibly the best left tackle in the game right now. Neal has showed improvements as well week to week. Some real good stuff. Bellinger has showed what he can do in helping out blocking on either side, on the strong side. So, they got their hands full. I would say that the Jacksonville has their hands full with what we do, and we're deceptive. We have the best, most dynamic running back in the game, so we're going to keep them on their toes. We got a healthy ankle on Daniel Jones, and he's gonna, they're gonna use him the right way and use his legs. So there's a lot of deception there. I think that the Jones is still a little shaky in the pocket when it's a pure pass, so that could get a little interesting. But so is Eli Manning. Eli Manning for his first, however, he was going down. He would get blown down. He would just blow on him, and he would go down on purpose. So you see, the theme of this conversation is going to be the coaching, right? Like the coaching has come in and done great things with the talent that they have, and put these talented guys in positions to succeed, and that's why we're seeing these W's. So I don't know. Was this question about Walker? Well, he's going to get blocked by a new revamped O-line. He's going to, if he starts giving us trouble, I'm sure they will adjust and action the other way. So get to see. I'm not going to pretend I know all about this guy and what is his strength, but I know he was a legit prospect when he came out.
By the way, unfortunately, is now 3-0 Houston Astros. Alex Bregman just hit a home run, and yeah, not good. Let's move on to some more comments, and obviously, it's only fitting that I give this comment to this Tom Scavetta comment here. This might be our toughest game over the next 4 weeks. Now, Vibs, if you see that name and that name's familiar, Tom, of course, is the main host of the show, but unfortunately.
Yeah.
Due to scheduling conflicts, he was unable to make it for this episode. But we want to say once again, Tom, we miss you and can't wait to have you back on next week. And I'm sure Tom has some very fond memories of when you and I and him talked, and you were on your way to meeting OJ Anderson, by the way.
Yeah. All right, Tommy. Good. How are you, man? Good to thanks for sending that message. Love coming on your guys' show. OJ's coming right here to my house a week from today. We're gonna have dinner here at my house, and then we're going to go to my kids' football practice. He's going to talk to the team.
That is amazing, and I love how every single episode we've been on, it seems like OJ Anderson somehow gets into it. But
I mean, listen, he's become a friend, so we get to do things like that.
It's amazing. It's great when you. It's
Sorry,
great when you make connections with a lot of these legends.
Yeah, and the legends, even the guys that are now legends, like Super Bowl 42, 46 guys who are all done playing. Some of them hang around. I had Manningham come over for dinner a couple of months ago, as well, and he hang around with my kids and film the football and stuff. So in the area, you guys should do it too. Like there's charity events, and there's things where you can connect with these people and get to know them and help them out, and they can help you out. But as far as the question about the toughest game in the next 4 weeks, when do we play the Seahawks?
After this game,
that's on the road.
I think might be a tougher game because we got to get into Seattle, and they're putting up points. Gino and them they're putting up points, so that I think could be tougher. I'm just not that scared of Jacksonville, man. I'm just not that scared of them. I think that what's really crazy? The parity in football has grown. There are so many teams that are so similar. The phrase "any given Sunday" is so true nowadays. Like, are we the Bills and the Chiefs? No, but there's only really a couple teams that are like these upper echelon teams. The Bills, the Chiefs. I might put the Eagles there. I don't really think the Vikings are so explosive. I really don't think the Cowboys are so great. Like, it's Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, and maybe and then everyone else. And that's why you see the Jets at 4-2, the Giants at 5-1, Minnesota at 5-1. See these weird, these. So I think it's any given Sunday. Why not? I have a complete confidence in Jacksonville. I'm astonished that we're 3-point dogs or 3.5 points, depending on what site or where you go. That is crazy to me because they're 2-4. Like, what kind of? It's amazing that we're still not getting the respect.
Yeah, Mike, I was just actually saying that to Hank earlier. I mean, if you look at Jacksonville's games this year, they've actually, kind of like the Giants, they've actually been in every one of the games. But I think the difference is the Giants have been able to close out games and come back, and Jacksonville has not. But they do have a quality win. I know the Chargers were banged up when they played them, but still, nevertheless, they played a very quality game there. They actually jumped out to a quick lead against the Eagles, but I think it also shows you how great Philadelphia is. So in some ways, actually, the two teams can be kind of similar, but I think the difference is the Giants' coaching and the ability to finish games, and their ability to do that, and Jacksonville's inability to do that has been a difference. So that's why I actually think this game is going to be really close. But speaking about the Giants here, just for a second, one of the big question marks going into the season was about Daniel Jones, and you've seen now what the Giants have been able to do, what he's been able to do. They've had 3 games this year where they've trailed by 10+ points, and he's been a big reason why the Giants have been able to come back and win. So what is your thoughts about Jones? If you think he can be the answer, the future for this team going forward for years to possibly for a few years to come?
You see, I mean, it's tough. Most of me I want to say yes, but ultimately to win a championship at this level right now, or what the game has become, you either have to be a Tom Brady-esque, mentally awesome leader, and then also have the amazing defense that Tampa had and Peyton Manning had with Denver, right? If you're not going to be, or you have to be a ridiculously explosive offense. I mean, those are our only 2 choices for the Super Bowl. That's just how it works. Mm-hmm. So which one of those do you guys think we're going to be able to fall in? To me, it might be the defensive side of things, and try to game manage, do the best you can. Right now, right, we're a rushing team and a very, very poor passing team. That's not going to hold up when you go to the Super Bowl against the Bills or the Chiefs. That's just not going to, right? It's just not going to hold up. So what does everyone believe about him? Tag him? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with him? Long-term contract? I don't know. I really don't know. He's like that anomaly because the team is so young. And I'll tell you this much. We all know this. 5-1 changes everything. But Jesus, we're 5-1. We have almost some kind of, I don't want to say clear path because I'm an optimist, to 10 double-digit wins, right? What are you going to do with this guy off a double-digit win season? Not to say he's not capable of leading a team. So it could be very, very interesting. I don't know. You guys probably know better than me what kind of money we can afford to pay him, but we're going to most likely tag Saquon at this rate, so we can't probably tag Daniel Jones. I don't know, but that's my answer. Like maybe tag him and pay Saquon. Try to figure out work something short-term deal with him, because you can probably get Saquon cheaper and for a short amount of years. You tag Daniel Jones, take another flyer on him, and see if you expand his offense. See if he can do it. That could be, but it's very interesting, right? It's a very interesting anomaly we're facing with him.
It is, but I tend to think that you have to take that risk with Daniel Jones if, let's say, he keeps up this pace for the rest of the season, because again, this is only a short sample size.
Are you going to sign him, Hank? Are you going to sign this dude? You're going to give him what are you going to give him?
I know, but that's a thing. But I also wouldn't be surprised if, say, Daniel Jones took like a lesser amount of money, because he seems like that kind of guy that's like willing to like take one for the team and help out the other guys. And let me go back.
You think he's going to be able to go and get more money somewhere else?
I don't know, though. That's the thing.
That's the thing. So it'd be very interesting. I think Saquon is I see Saquon as a big part of the Daniel Jones this also, because of our offense, because of we're in cap hell and we're going to need to somehow pay these guys. So I think you could probably get Daniel Jones for cheaper on the dollar, as they say, as a quarterback position, then you obviously can get Saquon at the running back position. So it could be you could be right. I mean, maybe you take that risk because you can get him for a good price.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that's really that have been my biggest takeaways is that pretty much a lot of the younger players have shown some progress. In particular, for me, Kayvon Thibodeau has really gotten better over the course of the past few weeks, and I only think he's going to do better in the second half. So if you look at his numbers from Oregon, he actually had really good numbers in the second half of his seasons, and he seems like a guy who just gets better in crunch time. But I think some of the unsung heroes to me are Evan Neal, who really showed some progress this past week, and as Tom pretty much has been talking about with me a lot, like whether it be through text or on this show, Daniel Bellinger is another good guy. The tight end that we drafted, like, been making some big catches and is a really good blocker too.
Blocking and tackling, but my friends, blocking and tackling.
Exactly. And that's what a certain guy on the other side with the Jaguars did not do enough, but we don't really mention it. We've only really mentioned his name a few times.
That's well, the thing is, I'm not to be boring I don't want to bore people with my fantasy lineups, but he's in this week for me at the tight end spot. Just because I have a weird feeling. It's like I'm hedging my bet here. And he's a good dude. I don't think there's any bad blood. I don't think people are gonna boo him, whatever. But I don't like the idea of a Evan Engram revenge game. Like, I really don't like that connotation if you put on it. Trust me, we will be seeing that over Twitter all day. If he does anything even remotely good, forget about score a touchdown. It's going to be Evan Engram revenge game all over the place. So I don't want to see that at all.
Yeah, I have a feeling your buddy LPG probably will agree with you on that one.
Yeah, Evan Engram was a good dude, and I'll say this again. I'll go back to, obviously he had that the drop against Philly that would have put us, in hindsight, would have put us in the playoffs that year against Tampa. If you look that out, to go back to the coaching of what this team is, there's always been talent on this team, right? There's always been some not great, some huge misses on the drafts, but also some talented picks in the draft. Like, we got McKinney, Julian Love is showing his stuff. Obviously, AT has been amazing, and this year Saquon. We were in so many games. We lost so many games. I'll also put Dexter in there too as a good driver. Dexter, was it last year when the offsides against Washington on the field goal, right? Was that last year?
Yeah, that was a year ago, I believe.
Too. Like, there was so many games, literally each of the last 3 seasons, where 4 games could have completely gone differently if it was for a little bit of coaching, a little bit of discipline, a play call that went the right way, or one catch, something like that. We're a totally different team if those things happen. Now we're on the other side of that, and you see how much more fun it is to be on the other side of that.
Well, yeah.
Tell me something happened in the Yankee game, Hank.
It is now 3-2. Glaber hit an RBI single.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm getting buzzed up over here. I was like, something definitely.
Now I'm starting to like get my hopes up, even though obviously I'm kind of trying to be a little more level-headed with the Yankees. But in any event, let's talk about some of the players to watch. Now, Johnny and I kind of briefly touched upon this before we brought you on, but I'm going to ask this question for both of you. If there was a player to watch for each team that you have, give me one from the Jaguars and one from the Giants. And this is kind of a tradition that Tom like usually does when he's on as the host. So,
right. Mike,
I'm going to start with you.
Jaguars is Travis Etienne. He is a pass catching back. He's a little scat back. That's the kind of thing that we could have trouble with, kind of like we had in the Dallas game with that whatever his name was, Dunlap or whatever his name was, that scored those 2 TDs. We're having trouble. Like we had trouble covering Mark Andrews in the tight end position. So if there's something like Evan Engram, not Mark Andrews, but if you get the running back out of the backfield and some dump offs, I can see him having like those 6 to 8 catches that really put a thorn in our ass the entire time. So watch Travis Etienne because they have a kind of like a 2-headed monster at running back, and he's a good like 3rd down back type of guy. On our side, I think it's time. It's time to really hold our breath on Wan'Dale, because I had this conversation with LPG yesterday about Wan'Dale, and it just came to me. Like, Daniel Jones is your quarterback. He's not going to have a ton of time to throw because of the offensive line. And that he's not the best kind of just, faking out safeties and that sort of thing. He kind of stares down his receivers downfield a little bit. Wan'Dale he's a short possession type of receiver, drafted because of Daniel Jones, because of Daniel Jones' characteristics. We got this little guy who can go 5-7 yard outs, like and squeak in, kind of do some jet sweeps and that sort of thing. I think Wan'Dale was drafted because of Daniel Jones' strengths and weaknesses. So we saw that come out right away, and I was like, wait a second. They're using him perfectly in this offense right now. And Daniel Jones is comfortable dumping off 3-yard slants or little out patterns or that kind of wide receiver screen thing that scored the touchdown. So watch Wan'Dale. He could be the same kind of thing that I'm saying about with Etienne, a thorn in your ass, 3rd down possessions, these little 3-5 yard gains that really add up. So watch Wan'Dale, watch Travis Etienne.
Absolutely. I like those choices. Johnny, who do you have?
Well, Etienne's a good choice because, you know what, I think that's definitely a help for Trevor Lawrence, being teammates in Clemson. If you remember last year, Etienne got hurt in the first preseason game and missed the entire season. And that was one of the major things that I think Lawrence missed there in Jacksonville. Yeah, I think you got to keep it very simple here with Jacksonville. You got to watch for their big playmaking wide receiver and Christian Kirk, who they signed. People were talking about him being them overpaying for him, but Jacksonville needed a potential deep guy, and Christian Kirk is that guy. So I keep an eye out for him. I think for the Giants, I think a player to watch here. I was talking about it on the defensive side. I think Dexter Lawrence. I think a key is one of the keys for me in this game is getting pressure to Trevor Lawrence, because I think he has that kind of ability where, if he gets to be looking too comfortable in there, he's shown that he can throw some deep passes and make some big plays. I think he's only going to be improving. I think he didn't feel really comfortable last year until week 18, that game against the Colts. And you've seen him have some moments early on this year. Like I said, Jacksonville, they've been in every game this year. They just have not been able to close them out. But that's really something you have to watch. So I'm looking one offensive player, one defensive player, Christian Kirk for the Jags and Dexter Lawrence on the Giants side.
Dexter Lawrence and Christian Kirk. I like that. And hey, sexy Dexy, as Tom calls it, has been huge for us on the defensive side. And all right, so for my players, I'm going to go with Josh Allen. He's been leading the Jaguars defense with 3 sacks, and somebody that the Giants offensive line is definitely going to be watching out for. But if you have noticed a pattern with why I'm taking Josh Allen, it's because on the Giants side, I'm going to go with Andrew Thomas. Why? Because I think he has been an absolute key reason as to why Saquon Barkley is having a renaissance. He has been a pillar among that line, and he's slowly emerged as one of the best left tackles in the league. So,
no question.
As Tom knows from me giving this for like the players to watch, I'm going to go big defensive end, and then offensive lineman for the.
That's going to be a good battle right there. That's going to be a good battle.
It is.
And, you know, a lot of the fans are going to remember that that's who a lot of us wanted instead of Daniel Jones, right? Josh Allen was the pick that was on the board.
Yeah, 1 pick above.
And we passed on him.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, because the Giants could have had both Josh Allen and Josh Allen.
To be fair, that's kind of a hindsight 2020.
It is hindsight. I know. I mean, it's easy to say that now with both of them, but
you know, I didn't know a lot about the defense of Josh Allen, but in that he dropped to us. I forget. Actually, it was because the Jets picked. Who did the Jets pick? The Jets picked like a weird. Oh no, the Raiders. The Raiders picked.
No, it was the Raiders who took Cleveland Farrell.
Yes, and we're like
one of many failed Mike Mayock picks.
Yes, yeah.
And my mistake, Josh Allen, the defensive end who went to Jacksonville, he went after the Giants because he was there for the Giants. I said he went above them. I'm sorry, he went behind them. Yeah,
right. But we got gifted that, and a lot of fans thought that was going to be the pick. Just kind of like we got gifted, and it's just hard. Like, don't mess it up. He's right there for you. Now, I'm not saying Daniel Jones was a risk there, kind of was, but like just like this year's draft. When Thibodeau and Neal fell perfectly to us, right? Like, just don't mess it up. Just take the guys that we know are there that are going to do it. So I'm not, listen, Gettleman didn't act like that. He took Daniel Jones there. We have him now. He's very capable young man. Very great legs, right? Great runner. Got to do his right thing. He's smart. I feel like he just stares down his guys a little bit too much. And he also probably doesn't have a lot of open guys right now because we have no one out there running these routes. So very interesting. Josh Allen. Yeah. This is an interesting guy. We got Evan Engram over there. We got Josh Allen over there. Last week we had JPP.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, you down with JPP?
It's gonna be an emotional game for Evan Engram. If it was. Oh man, what do you guys think? If it was here, he would get booed.
Oh, probably. But then again, there are probably going to be a lot of Giant fans down in Jacksonville to watch that game, so he might get booed there anyways.
You think he would get more boos at home? Probably, right?
Yeah, probably.
Fair share, yeah.
By the way, let me bring up this comment that Chris has. Thank the gods, Giants started good. Tired of the Yankees and Giants. Me too.
That's a great comment.
I know Tom might have his own thoughts because he's a Mets fan, but that's okay.
Mets are excited just to make it to October.
I mean, pretty much. And in any event, let's talk about some of the big keys to the games that you have. And Johnny, I'm going to start with you this time. What's your number one key to the game?
Well, I mean, if you've been watching throughout this entire season, one of the things you've noticed is with both teams, really, they've both been playing close games. I think the key to this game, really, it could very well be who has the ball late. You know what? It could come down to who has the ball last in the last 2 minutes, because these two teams, they both can win. But I don't think either team has the talent to blow another one out. So the key might be who has the ball within the last 2 minutes. And I think another one too. I'll give you a second one too. Turnovers. I mean, I think it comes down to very simple. When you look at the Giants here, Daniel Jones has not been turning the ball over the last several weeks. And that's why I think, Mike, I was talking about this with Hank earlier. One of the reasons why I love Brian Daboll is that first game against Tennessee when Jones makes that very bad throw in the end zone, that back shoulder throw to Barkley, he gets intercepted. One of the things you see on that Fox broadcast right away is Daboll almost go all Tom Coughlin And you know what? Yes. And I think from that moment on, you know what? One thing you notice about Jones is he's been limiting his mistakes. So if you can continue that, then I think you've definitely got a great chance to win this game. So limit the turnovers. You know, there's really a few keys. You know, who has the ball last? Limit the turnovers, and you know what? We'll see. And you know, if you can get pressure as well.
Yeah, I mean, no team that loses the turnover battle is supposed to win. You know what I mean? We're not going to go out here and throw 2 picks and 2 fumbles and going to win. That's not going to be a good way to go about this when our offense is struggling to break 25 points. Key to the game, if you want to get to where we want to right now, I think a strong part of we're a second half team, obviously, so that's great. We want to keep it close, get in the second half. We want to get to that fourth quarter where it's a tie game, right? That would be, we'd almost be comfortable there. But in order to get there, we got to play, I think, a fairly low scoring game. So we're not going to be playing games in the 30s, which means we got to get to Trevor Lawrence. So
absolutely,
you got to get to Trevor Lawrence. At least make him very uncomfortable. You can't give him too much time in there to go to. And you said earlier, Johnny, right? You can't. If you give him too much time, he's going to rip you up. Who they play? The Eagles. Did they play the Lions? What was that shootout they had? They had the Chargers. Yeah. The more time, and it turns out the Chargers aren't nearly as good as we all thought either. So that's why that game went into like the 30s. But you said Kirk on the outside. You got Evan Engram, who is a football player. Let's just put that aside for our feelings aside. You give Trevor Lawrence too much time. He's he's number 1 pick, right? He's very talented. He's the second most talented person on this field after Saquon coming on Sunday. And you can't give him too much time. Get to him. Get Leonard Williams, who we haven't mentioned his name yet. Get Leonard Williams back to churning that line, making that O-line uncomfortable. And Dexter Lawrence doing the thing. And Thibodeau maybe coming around now because, man, that guy can be he's lightning. His personality is lightning. So this D-line, put some pressure on Trevor Lawrence. Make him make the mistakes, and keep them scoring well. We win this game what do we need? How many points? I'll put it on you, Hank, Johnny. How many points do we need to score to win?
I'm going to say around like 26, 27 maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking something along the lines of like 24-20 because really those are the kind of games the Giants play right now. You know, one thing you've noticed too, also the Giants, you know, they gave up 22 against Green Bay and 20 against Baltimore. 2 teams that
you gave up 26 against Dallas, right? That was our highest.
Yes.
Right. So there you go. I mean, we got to score 25-26. That's what I would say. Not out of the question.
No.
3 touchdowns. You know, 2 touchdowns, 3 field goals, something along those lines.
That's a possibility. Yeah.
You know, I think if you put us into the high 20s, we'll be fine. You know, we'll get that. We'll get that. I think that, but we're too talented on that D line. I think Thibodeau, he's an engine. I don't know what the Jags O line is. I don't know who he's going to be lined up against, but he is an engine, man. And what is this? His 3rd or 4th game? Like, what game is this? 3rd game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, come on, he's a rookie too. So wait till he gets going, dude. Maybe I'll change it to Thibodeau. Whatever, Thibodeau. Get to Trevor Lawrence.
So, as far as my main key to the game is, I have a few. Number 1, I would say, is the one that I almost always say on the show, which is get off the field on 3rd down. And the Giants actually did a good job with that last week. The Ravens were only 4 for 10 on 3rd down conversions. And I would argue that was probably a difference between the Giants winning and losing that game. So I hope that continues. Number 2, I would say to take advantage and score when you're in the red zone, because Mike Kafka has made some really good play calls with the Giants getting that far. And again, that definitely helped in their win over the Ravens last week. So I would say strike while the iron's hot and score while you're in the red zone, or cross the end zone, I should say. And then second of all,
touchdowns in the red zone. Where, I mean, this Giants team for how freaking long was it? Oh, great play to get onto the 17-yard line, and then three plays field goal. I mean, that was our whole life. We were watching that. That was ridiculous.
So now let's get to the injury report. So I'm going to briefly run down the deal with all the players that have been on the injury report. So Cordell Flott did not practice due to calf issues. Kenny Golladay also did not practice due to knee. I don't know if he's going to be playing, but then again, it's not like we need him anyways. Kadarius Toney had hamstring issues, also did not practice, and Jason Pinnock had an ankle injury, did not practice. And the other player that did not practice was Ocean Zimenez, who is dealing with quad issues. And
really?
As far as players with limited practice, Azeez Ojulari was dealing with calf issue, but I think he will still be able to play. Saquon Barkley had a shoulder issue, but I think, again, we'll still be seeing him back. John Feliciano had groin issues, but again, limited practice. I think he'll be fine. Same with Andrew Thomas, who was dealing with an elbow injury. And as far as the Jaguars, Jamal Agnew and Shaquille Griffith did not practice because Agnew had a knee injury and Griffin was dealing with back issues. And then Lorenzo Fatukasi, I think that's his name. He was dealing with a quad injury, had limited practice. Devon Hamilton had a foot injury, also had limited practice. Marvin Jones Jr. had a hamstring injury, limited practice, did not play either. And again, I'm going to mispronounce this guy's name. Foysade Oluokun, I think that's his name, also had a limited practice due to calf injury. Again, I don't know what it is with these names, but that's how it goes. And now, last but not least, let's get to your game predictions. I am going to start with Johnny first and foremost.
Well, again, like I've been saying all show long, these two teams play close games throughout. I mean, I think the one really blowout was really Jacksonville over the Chargers, but these two teams play close games. This could very come down to the last 2 minutes. The line in this game, I think, is totally disrespectful that the Jags are 2.5-point favored. I kind of get why, because they're the home team, and they do have kind of convincing wins again, a convincing win against the Chargers. But at the same time, and if you've been watching the Giants play, a lot of the talk has been that the Giants are unlucky, they don't deserve to be, or the worst 5-1 team. I think that is a bunch of baloney. But I look at this game, I think this game is going to come down to a very, very close game. But I like the Giants to come out of this one 24-20.
Okay.
Good score. All right. I mean, obviously, I have us winning. This is what I'm going to tell you also, too, because I've been getting into the gambling a lot. I'm looking at these different lines, and I just like putting together parlays and stuff. In fact, I got to check my parlay right now. What's the score of that game, the football game?
Which one? The Cardinals. I saw the Saints were up 7-6.
You know who scored that touchdown?
No, I do not. I just took a look at the score.
So I am going to not only take the Giants. Is it just seeing 2.5 now, Johnny? I was seeing 3, but I'm not only going to take the Giants +3. I'm going to actually buy the line out to like 9, because I think there's a possibility here. I just psyched myself into it when I was talking about the D line. There's a possibility here that we can get them so uncomfortable offensively that we can just make them miserable and end up winning this game by a big margin. So I'm going to take Giants 27, Jaguars 13.
Oh, nice.
Big line, +10. Buy it out. You give me $10, will get you like 300.
So just a couple of things real quick, Mike. The line right now, Jacksonville's favored by 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Right now, and it's 14-6 New Orleans midway through the second quarter. Taysom Hill has a touchdown catch, and Shaheed has a 53-yard touchdown catch from Andy Dalton. So that's the scoring from the New Orleans side.
Oh, Nikes. And it was field goals on the other side?
Yes. 2 field goals for Arizona.
Okay. I had a big parlay that I put. I think it was Zach Ertz to score the first touchdown. So if that doesn't hit, then the whole parlay.
Oh,
so that didn't happen. But I did have Taysom anytime in a different one, so I got to go check that. So that's one of those. That's good. All right, Hank, what's your game predictions, man?
All right. So first of all, let me get to Tom and Sam. Unfortunately, we do not have a recorded video of Tom and Sam making their picks. That is obviously, as I mentioned, they could not be here with us on this week. Sam unfortunately had some family stuff that she had to deal with, but hopefully she will be back next week. So Sam, I hope you're doing well if you're watching this. And
we're thinking of you, Sam. Yep.
I know she has the Giants winning, and Tom, of course, also has the New York Giants winning. I believe he has a similar score as you guys. He has the Giants winning by a score of 23-17. And You know, normally I hate like when I'm making like unanimous predictions with regards to an NFL game score, but unfortunately, I can't really say I disagree with any of you guys because I have the Giants winning by a score of 22-16. I know that's kind of a weird score, but you figure it's going to be a lower defensive scoring defense struggle. So that's the score that I have the Giants winning. And this is probably the first time in a while I've really felt like I had the chance to pick the Giants. But, you know, given the way they've been playing.
Hey, wait a second. You guys on this show, you guys do game predictions every time and you predict, you choose the other team to win sometimes?
Or occasionally. We try to be realistic.
I don't know if I could handle that. I would have to always pick the Giants.
Mike, I'll say on my end when I made my predictions on my show, a couple of weeks ago when the Giants were in London, I had the Packers winning that game by like a 31-20 score, and that one totally. Fortunately, I got that one totally wrong. But
yeah, so
okay,
I mean,
you should be thinking
against these G-men, baby. Now they're getting, they're getting to now understand. Like I said, we had the talent. You need the coaching. You put these guys in positions to succeed. They're NFL football players. Any given Sunday, they're in a pool of 20-ish teams that can win any given Sunday.
Absolutely.
That's what, right? Like, seriously, you wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville won. They're not blowing us out. We're not blowing them out. Maybe my score was a little rambunctious, 27-13, but there's only a couple teams. It's only the Bills and the Chiefs and maybe a very, very healthy Chargers team and then the Eagles. And that's it. Like, I don't see any, that's the teams I'm like, all right, those are the class, and everyone else is any given Sunday. And our schedule, I can't wait to play the Eagles. If we keep steamrolling this, if we come out of these next 4 games, I don't know, 3-1, and now we're 8-2, whenever we play the Eagles, it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to play the Eagles.
I think you're right, though. I think it's those 4 teams, and then really everybody else, except if you're Carolina, probably that would be it. I'd say
right.
I mean, look, I live down here in South Carolina, so I follow the Carolina Panthers really close. They live up there. They work up there in Charlotte. I'll tell you, they are the worst team, and I'm the one I feel is really big because I had them winning 8 games this year. So, and
that was great that they were on our schedule, and that was our home opener. And that was a very ugly game, but it's like we worked kinks out. So definitely schedule is coming into play here, fellas. Like, our schedule is nice, but we beat the Packers and we beat the Ravens, and those were 2 of the hardest games on our schedule, or at least that we saw.
Yeah, so, and that game against Carolina, I think also just showed you though, and you've seen this throughout the season with the Giants, is really all 3 areas of the team: offense, defense, and special teams, all contributing. Really, I mean, when's the last time you were able to be so confident about the Giants' special teams? Whether it's been their punting team, their returning team, or Graham Gano being kicking. I mean, he's had some very solid 50+ yard kicks this year.
Graham Gano is amazing. I still don't really like what we do or what we don't do in the return game.
That's always been something, right?
Return game is brutal. But then again, we got these guys under a microscope. I'm sure if we were fans of other teams, there's probably not that great. The return games aren't that great across the league. But we're on top of these guys, right? I did want, Tony, I think, could return, but you put him as a returner, you're risking even more injury. So I don't know what you're going to do, but he to me could be a quintessential returner. And we asked Stephen Baker why he thought Tony wasn't returning punts, or at least punt returning, and he thought that he said that either he doesn't know his kind of assignment, how to actually field the punt, how to actually bring it in 99.9% of the time, and know when to fair catch, and know when to take a step back, and know when to read it. So we're the guy's a dynamic athlete when he gets the ball in his hands, but he's got to adjust to the NFL game and not be hurt all the time.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, I want to thank you again for joining us on Big Blue Avenue. It is always a pleasure when we have you on the show. And before we let you go, we have to do our normal tradition and ask you to please plug yourself.
Plug myself, Mike Vivalo, Team Vivalo. We do the True Blue Show, which is kind of podcast, kind of Instagram, kind of charity work. We kind of just do this multimedia thing. Starting up guys, I'm gonna have you. You're gonna love this gambling show that is. I can't reveal all of it. What it is, it's been in the works for a while now. It will be dropping hopefully very, very soon. It's going to be awesome. My partner in the show, she is awesome. You're going to like that. We're going to be at tailgates. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. But I don't want to go overboard and announce anything. It is coming soon. And then, check this out. Hold on, stay right there. Oh, you want to see something awesome? Stay right there.
Yes. Oh boy.
I love this tease.
Oh boy, this is keeping me in suspense.
All right. So first of all, we're also working on these. We're also working on these Giants chains. Right. Nice. So these will be coming out soon. All right. I got this from a DJ in Miami last year for Dolphins Giants. We went down, and there's a DJ that had this behind the booth, and I was like, "Bro, I need to have that." He's like, "No problem, $80." I was like, "Done. Whatever you want, I have to have that chain." So then I went. That was right before we were like in some club tailgating. It was like a tailgating in a Miami club, and we walked into the game, and that game was terrible too. But ever since then, everywhere I go with this, people offer me 100. Hey, dude, I'll give you 100 right now. 100 right now. 100 right now. So if I had these, I would be making thousands of dollars in the tailgate. The second thing that we do have, and if you guys want one, let me know. I have. Check this out. LT Hawaiian shirts.
Oh my.
Nice.
Oh, right. Hold on. I didn't even show you my jersey.
Nice. Lawrence Taylor custom Hawaiians. You cannot get them anywhere but just with me. Even on the inside.
That is amazing.
Stay right there.
Oh my. We should do a drum roll for like suspense.
I was gonna say we need a drum roll but wait, there's more.
Saquon Hawaiians.
Oh my
baby.
gosh.
Look at that.
I should have worn this on. I forgot. I have a whole bag of these things. So we have a couple Saquon Hawaiians. They're $100 each. Saquon Hawaiians and LT Hawaiians. And next game I'm at, I'm sure they'll be sold out in about the first 10 minutes. I'm in the parking lot.
Yes.
I got some swag, all custom. This is hard to find though. We can't find someone to make it. We were at one designer. We can find someone to make it, but like the price doesn't add. You know what I mean? They want to make like 1,000 of them or some shit. Yeah, but that's what we're up to, man.
Wow, that is awesome. I mean,
awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I think you've pretty much left us mind blown. But yeah, Mike, thanks once again for joining us. Always a pleasure. Thank you for plugging yourself. And hey, hopefully we will have you back sometime in the near future, whether it be later on this season or sometime next season.
Anytime, brothers. Anytime. And let me tell you what. Hold on, another thing. Hold on, one more. Why would
Okay, go.
The late great Billy Mays is saying, "But wait, there's more." Oh, Billy.
Oh
man, one of my favorite pitchmen too.
All right, we got some charity stuff. Well, first of all, this is from my boy Jimmy Ranzano at the Sports Chill Screw Hugh shirts.
That's nice.
Right. And then for charity, if it's you guys or whoever, if you have anyone who has little kids, this is my children's book that I wrote called Goodnight Canton. It's a children's book about the Hall of Fame. And of course we have, some guys that jersey you may be wearing in the book.
This one?
This is an LT on LT's page. We have autographed LT. So LT autographed these books for us, and the money goes to the Otis Anderson Scholarship Foundation. So I think we only have 2 left. 2 autographed copies. I'm keeping one for myself, but I am the author. My friend Jonathan Bartlett is the illustrator right there. And if you ever read Goodnight Moon, I don't know if you guys have kids, but this is exactly in the same rhyme scheme as.
That's so clever. Uh-oh, did he freeze on us?
I think we're losing him, yeah.
Oh, never mind. He's still there.
We're back.
Yep.
LT signed them, and then hold on. I think I got one more.
I think the internet was like so mind blown by the LT.
Yes.
That's why it froze.
Hold on, one more thing.
Oh.
But wait, there's even more.
Wait, there's more. There's more. This is all for the Otis Anderson Charity Foundation, LT autograph books. And check out this big card that's signed by LT. It's like a huge football card.
Oh, look at that.
And there's the LT auto. So these are all 200. 200 for a book, 200 for this thing. And 100 for the Hawaiians. If anyone's interested. You wanted me to plug myself, Hank.
We love it. We want to get you to plug yourself as much as possible. But yeah, thank you so much, Mike. Always a pleasure.
Mike, thank you so much, man. That was great stuff.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Go Giants. 27-13.
Yes. Big Blue. Let's go Big Blue. That's right.
All right.
Now what do we do?
That was Mike Vivalo, and
wow.
As always, he is such a great guest and did not let us down. He provided some great insights about the New York Giants, and I love hearing about a lot of the charity work he does, and I love seeing some of the episodes on his podcast. He is the real deal and a legitimate Giants fan, and what a guy. And folks, once again, that'll be pretty much it for this episode of Big Blue Avenue. Johnny, I want to thank you for hopping on this show, and can you please plug yourself as well? Although unfortunately,
Hank, yes, it was great. It was great to fill in. Tom, Sam, we missed you both, but it was an honor and pleasure to fill in for you both. Yes, you can catch me when I also fill in every now and then here on Review and Preview. You know, this is always my home network. You know, I'm actually heading up to New York, Long Island this weekend. I'll be not that far away from where the show originally started about a little over 11 years ago. But you can catch me on Game On the Empty the Bench podcast network with Mr. Hank and Dexter himself right there. We are on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern there on the Empty the Bench podcast network, where you can also catch, you know, I do segments called Monty Moments. We had one that dropped today about the college football scene, which has been absolutely crazy. You know, we also do our pro football picks every Friday against the spread. So we do a bunch of content there with my main show, Game On Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern there. And then, of course, like I said, the other stuff as well. So it's just a little bit of what we do over there. But you can catch me over there and, of course, back here every now and then at my home, where it all started here on Review and Preview.
Now, before we go, I do want to mention our sponsor. It is the app BetUS. You can sign up with our promo code JOIN125. Please click on the link below if you're interested. Get all your sports betting anytime, anywhere, straight from your mobile device. And please download the app of BetUS. And of course, please don't forget to follow us on all of our social medias. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Review and Preview Sports, and of course, Big Blue Avenue. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter as well. And please don't forget to hit that big red button. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please don't forget to leave your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, you have just watched another episode of Big Blue Avenue. On behalf of Johnny Montalbano, Tom Scavetta, Sam Cardona, I'm Hank and Dexter, and let's go Big Blue.